it's time to now stop doubting him because he's just that good. I think DDP is one of those guys.
We know a lot about Khamzat. We know that, first of all, we know that style, that seek and destroy, throw yourself into the fire style, it needs a little tweaking.
Yeah. UFC legend Daniel Cormier has warned the fans not to make the mistake of underestimating Dricus du Plessis once again. He believes every time people doubt him, DDP comes up with an astonishing performance to shut up his haters, and he might do the same thing against Khamzat as well. Daniel Cormier admitted that he, like many others, used to think Dricus du Plessis wasn't very technical, but now sees how effective and dangerous he really is. He joked that DDP is like Homer Simpson, doing everything wrong but still winning, and said he was shocked at how DDP overwhelmed Israel Adesanya and dominated Sean Strickland. DC emphasized that DDP's unorthodox style works, and it's time people start respecting how strong, big, and skilled he truly is.
DDP and Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah.
Who emerges from that?
The DDP, man, he is something else, bro. For so long we thought he just was bad. He's not. He's really good. He's like really, really good.
Did you ever see that thing with him? And like he's like they show like a clips of Homer Simpson, like doing everything wrong and somehow winning, and they kind of show like the same.
Good, dude.
That is
bro.
hilarious.
He was just. I was like, okay, so Izzy's gonna just counter him. He's too good. And he got Izzy bad. He was all over Izzy. I mean, he put it on Sean Strickland bad.
Yeah.
That last time. Like,
you gotta respect that style.
He's good, man. He's so big, he's so strong, and he's good.
Daniel Cormier said that in a fast-paced sprint, Khamzat Chimaev would have the edge over Dricus du Plessis. But if the fight goes on longer, things get interesting. DC believes Dricus is built to go all 25 minutes, and Khamzat needs to prove he can match that same endurance over 5 hard rounds.
Khamzat, in a sprint, can't stay with him. DDP can't stay with him. But I think if the fight goes long, it starts to get interesting. Because I think Dricus is there for 25 minutes. Khamzat needs to be there for 25 minutes also.
Daniel Cormier said that based on how Khamzat Chimaev dominated Robert Whittaker, the odds currently favor him over Dricus du Plessis. He mentioned Khamzat being around a -180 favorite, which seemed about right to him, but DC also admitted he's done doubting Dricus after what he's shown in recent fights.
Who do you think right now it favors? Because I know you can't make obviously a prediction, but who do you think it favors right now? Because looking at the way Khamzat just disposed of Robert Whittaker.
Robert Whittaker was crazy. So I think, and DDP is gonna be like, what the hell, dude? I think when the line comes out, and I'm pretty sure it's out already, you guys can check it. Khamzat will probably be a favorite. And I think it's because of what you see.
Yeah, -180.
Khamzat is -180. And I think just when you look at it, that's probably
pretty big
about right. But I don't know, man. I'm done doubting Dricus du Plessis.
Michael Bisping said he's extremely excited for Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis, calling it one of the most highly anticipated matchups ever. He praised Chimaev as a finishing machine who's gone through top-level opponents like Robert Whittaker and Li Jingliang with ease. Bisping highlighted Chimaev's elite boxing and called his wrestling possibly the best in the UFC, noting how explosive and fast his takedowns are once he closes the distance.
This is one of the most highly anticipated matchups of all time. Khamzat Chimaev, ever since he signed with the UFC, we all know what he's capable of. The man is a finishing machine. He is an absolute monster, okay? He is undefeated. He's gone through most people like a hot knife through butter, okay? And we're talking world-class competition, people like Robert Whittaker. The way that he dismantled Li Jingliang was just phenomenal. He's got great boxing. The wrestling is probably some of the best in the UFC. In fact, probably the best in the UFC right now. Nobody shoots like Khamzat Chimaev from about a mile away, but he's so fast and so explosive. He level changes, then woof, he flies across the octagon, and all he's got to do is get a hold of you, and you are in a world of trouble.
Henry Cejudo said Khamzat Chimaev has the skills to beat anyone in the world, and was especially impressed by how easily he handled Robert Whittaker. However, he sees Dricus du Plessis as a much tougher test because of his non-stop pace and relentless pressure. Cejudo explained that DDP never really fades, and if you're not prepared for 5 hard rounds, he'll break you. Admitted he once thought DDP looked sloppy, but now realizes that his high volume and tenacity make him a serious threat to anyone.
Does Khamzat beat DDP?
Man, Khamzat could beat anybody in the world in about a round. It's super impressed with what he did to Robert Whittaker. I don't see that against DDP. DDP's scrambly, man. You're gonna need to really be able to pace yourself for 5 rounds. And with DDP's train just continue to keep rolling, and he's still steaming, and his train's still hot. It depends on how long DDP wants to take a break. You're gonna have to prepare, man, for a guy like DDP. You're gonna need a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too. I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Rob until they bring that volume and just the tenacity that changes everything.
On the other hand, Din Thomas questioned Khamzat Chimaev's reliability, saying that while he hopes Chimaev makes it to the fight, there's always doubt given his history of pullouts. He warned that if Khamzat wins, it could be a disaster because fans won't know if he'll be available to fight again. Din said he's trying not to be pessimistic, but consistency remains a big concern. Din Thomas told MMA Junkie, "If Khamzat wins, it's a disaster. You can't tell me a part of you isn't just thinking, this fight might not actually happen. Some of these guys, habitual struggle in just making it to the dance. I'm not going to be pessimistic about it and we'll say he's going to show up. But if he does show up and he's able to win, do we trust him to be able to show up and fight again? That's the thing." Din Thomas emphasized the need for consistency from Khamzat Chimaev, questioning whether he can compete multiple times. He said divisions need movement, and that only happens when champions stay active and fight regularly. Din Thomas added, "Can he do it twice? Can he do it 3 times? Because we need movement. I hate when it's static and there's no movement in these divisions, and in order to be movement in the divisions, the champions have to fight." Din Thomas picked Dricus du Plessis to beat Khamzat Chimaev, predicting a possible 3rd-round stoppage. He believed Dricus could match Khamzat's early pace, stay efficient, and eventually wear him out before the fight reached the championship rounds. Din Thomas said, "I think Dricus wins," Thomas said. "I think he beats him and wears him out earlier, actually, and even before the 5th round. I think he could get a stoppage somewhere in the 3rd. Not just weathering the storm, but matching the pace, being a little more efficient in areas, and we just start to see Khamzat slow down a little bit and Dricus take over." Michael Bisping acknowledged Din Thomas's concerns about Khamzat Chimaev as a potential champion, agreeing that division movement requires active title defenses. He referenced fighters like Anderson Silva and Israel Adesanya, who built their legacies through consistent activity. While Bisping believed Chimaev had the same warrior mentality and willingness to face anyone, he also admitted that du Plessis posed a legitimate threat.
Would it be a disaster if Khamzat Chimaev wins? That's what Din Thomas said. I kind of get his point, because we do want to have a busy champion, okay? You gotta fight. You can't sit on the sidelines. You can't become the champion and say, right, I'm going to avoid fighting people now. No, you got to defend it, because when you defend it, that's when you make money. That's how you build your brand. That's how you get the endorsement deals, okay? Look at Israel Adesanya. When that man was the champion, he was defending the belt at a crazy pace, okay? That's why you got to have respect for champions like Israel Adesanya and Anderson Silva back in the day, because they were ready to take on absolutely anybody. Khamzat Chimaev, I think he's ready to take on everybody. He wants to kill everybody. Kill everybody! That's what he said right from day one. And I think if he can beat Dricus, and that's a big if, it's a very big if, okay? I don't know if he can.
Michael Bisping further described Dricus du Plessis as a big, powerful fighter who is tough to take down. He said the smartest way to approach Khamzat Chimaev is to confront him directly. While Chimaev will likely get hold of you and complete the takedown, Bisping emphasized that du Plessis must make him work for it. He believed the best defense is offense, putting Chimaev on the back foot and forcing him to react.
Now, Dricus is a big dude. He's not going to be easy to take down. Dricus is going to play him at his own game, and that's exactly what he's got to do. You can't run away from Khamzat Chimaev, okay? The man's going to get you. He's going to get a hold of you, and he's going to try and take you down, and he's probably going to be successful. So what do? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to meet him head on. You're going to fight him at his own game, and that's exactly what Dricus du Plessis said that he's going to do. He will get a hold of you, and he probably will take you down. So meet him head on. Make him work for it. The best form of defense is attack. put Khamzat Chimaev on the back foot.
Meanwhile, Belal Muhammad gave his prediction for Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis, saying too many people were underestimating Chimaev's cardio. He agreed with Khabib's take that if Khamzat chooses to strike, he could do well. Belal described DDP as awkward but hittable, and someone who often wears opponents out through pressure. He emphasized that Chimaev needs to be smart in a 5-round fight and avoid burning himself out. However, Belal picked Chimaev to win, saying he's sharper on the feet and especially sharper on the ground.
Who do I got, DDP or Chimaev? Honestly, I mean, I think too many people are counting out Chimaev's cardio. I think where Khabib said it best, if he stands up with him and strikes with him, I think he'll do well. DDP is an awkward style, but he does get hit a lot. And he breaks a lot of guys with fatigue. If Chimaev doesn't come out super hard in the first round, trying to take him down and letting out all his energy, I think he'll be fine if he keeps it standing. And then maybe the later rounds, you try to wear on him a little bit, but you don't want to go out for that kill in the first round. And DDP just plays defensively. He's strong, obviously. And then you end up burning yourself out for 4 rounds. So he needs to be smart, especially in this 5-round fight. But I got Chimaev. I think Chimaev's a lot crisper on the feet and definitely crisper on the ground.
The MMA guru also broke down Dricus du Plessis' chances against Khamzat Chimaev and said he could see DDP winning. He highlighted du Plessis' most underrated skill, his jiu-jitsu, pointing out how well he scrambles from the bottom. Guru said Dricus won't just accept being mounted and is good at rolling for leg locks to escape bad positions or take the back. He emphasized that DDP's ground game is better than people think and could play a big role in the fight. Earlier in another podcast, MMA Guru said he could see Dricus du Plessis beating Khamzat Chimaev. He highlighted du Plessis' underrated jiu-jitsu, especially his scrambling from the bottom. Guru explained that Dricus didn't allow himself to get mounted easily. He often rolled for a leg or heel hook to get back up or take back control. He praised Dricus for staying active and dangerous in those positions.
Who do you think wins, Dricus or Khamzat, and what do you think the finishing sequence would look like? I could see Dricus winning. Chat, yes or no, most underrated part of Dricus du Plessis' game, jiu-jitsu. He actually scrambles really well from bottom position, really well. He's not going to let himself get mounted. He'll roll for like a leg and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? He'll roll for a leg, threaten a heel hook, and then use it to get back up and try and get back control. Like, he's actually really good at that shit.
On the other hand, Rainier de Ridder noted that Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns made a mistake by easing off the pressure too soon against Khamzat Chimaev. He said giving Chimaev the chance to dictate the pace allowed him to take over the fight. In his view, a more aggressive start could have given them a real chance to win.
When you look at Khamzat Chimaev, what do you think is something a lot of fighters have gotten wrong in their approach to fighting him?
I think they are like Kamaru, Gilbert, they kind of stepped off the gas for a little bit, if you know what I mean. They kind of gave him the chance to start and to set the pace and to take the lead. And we saw in those fights that they were pretty much able to hang with him. And I think if they would have come out a bit more aggressive, that they would have had a chance to beat him.
Rainier de Ridder said Dricus du Plessis might be the favorite in his eyes because he always started aggressively and never held back in the early rounds. He added that it was hard to gauge where Khamzat Chimaev truly stood, pointing out that the Whitaker fight ended too quickly to reveal much. While de Ridder acknowledged that Chimaev could have evolved since then, he felt the full picture still wasn't clear.
Dricus is a guy who doesn't really hold anything back anyway in the first couple of rounds, so that's why I feel like Dricus might be the favorite in my mind, but we'll see. We haven't seen Khamzat as active. We didn't see a lot from him in the Whitaker fight because he took him down, stayed on top, and then finished him pretty quickly. So I'm curious. Maybe he evolved a lot as well. We don't really know where Khamzat is at because he might have just really upped his game and really evolved as a fighter as well.
Rainier de Ridder further believed that training for Khamzat Chimaev wouldn't be as complicated because his style was more familiar and structured. He explained that Chimaev's game could be studied and replicated in the gym without much guesswork. However, he felt Dricus du Plessis brought a chaotic and awkward rhythm that was difficult to mimic, which made him more dangerous. De Ridder suggested that this unpredictability might be what throws opponents off and gives du Plessis an edge.
He would be like an easier guy to prepare for. Not that he is an easier fight, but is more of a typical style. I can bring a couple of Dagestanis and a couple Chechens in who wrestle pretty similar to Khamzat. He boxes pretty cleanly, like boxing style. So yeah, that is not that spectacular. It's spectacular. It's not that special in a sense that it's not as weird as Dricus is, you know. So it'll be harder to prepare for him, but he might, if he wins, he might be the bigger name. But in my mind, I'm fighting both those guys in the next 6 to 9 months anyway.
Meanwhile, UFC legend Chael Sonnen also believes Khamzat Chimaev deserved to be the favorite and would likely win, but he wasn't sure how. He questioned whether Chimaev could control Dricus du Plessis on the ground and felt the first round would be key. If du Plessis defended early takedowns, Sonnen believed the fight would start to favor him.
Is it a surprise that Chimaev is a favorite? No, I would expect him to be. But I also feel as though if I were predicting this today, I would lean Chimaev. As long as you didn't ask me a follow-up question. Like if I told you, hey, I think Chimaev's going to beat Dricus. Okay, great. If we all get up and walk out of the room, we're fine. The problem is if you're going to ask me how. How is he going to beat him? Because I am not fully confident that Chimaev can take him down at will. I'm not fully confident he can keep him there. We're going to know in the very first round. If Dricus gets taken down in the first round, things are going to unravel very quickly. But if he can defend a takedown for the entire first 5 minutes, it's only going to get easier to stay on your feet after that. It's an exciting match. I would expect Chimaev to be the favorite.
However, Azamat Bakoev said many people had underestimated the champion, Dricus du Plessis, but he believed the fight would be difficult for Khamzat Chimaev. While he acknowledged Chimaev's strength and his dominance over other opponents, Bakoev still expected a close contest, giving Chimaev only a slight edge, around 55%.
Everybody underestimates the champion, Dricus du Plessis, but I think it's going to be not easy fight for Khamzat Chimaev. But Khamzat Chimaev also strong. He destroyed a lot of fighters, and but I still think it's going to be close fight, and who knows who's gonna win? Maybe 55%. So it's Chimaev, like that.
So that's all we have from today's video, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. Share your thoughts about Khamzat versus DDP's matchup in the comments section, and subscribe to our channel to get more updates about their upcoming encounter.